I'm not sure that words can express how honored I am to be here tonight, to receive this Lifetime Achievement Award on behalf of my mother. To see her honored by the Environmental Defense Fund is not only a highlight of her tremendously important career, it is also a highlight of mine. And the establishment of the Hazel Chandler Leadership Award is a beautiful way to honor her memory and legacy and ensure her work is carried forward. Thank you for letting us come together tonight and celebrate her. My mom was a generous and loving mother and a devoted grandmother and great-grandmother. She was also a change maker, a dedicated public health servant, a committed environmentalist, a passionate advocate for the issues most close to her heart. And she was fierce, she was bold, she was brave, and she was unwavering in her desire to protect people and the planet. And she always was a little ahead of the curve, understanding things that other people might not be catching on to quite yet. I realized at a very young age that my mom was special. She cared deeply for all people in ways that were not typical. Hazel's heart was huge. And when I was a tween or maybe an early teen, my mom brought home a sea level rise map. I remember laying it on the floor and looking at all of the US coastline that would be projected to be underwater, including San Diego, where I was born. The projections were for some time in the future, maybe it was 2100, I don't quite recall. But that day we talked about greenhouse gas emissions and global warming and how James Hansen's research showed that humans and fossil fuels were the cause. She became increasingly alarmed about the warming planet and the impacts that it could have on ecosystems, food systems, weather, health, and humanity. And over the years, our conversations on the topic became more and more frequent, especially as I got older and started exploring and understanding the world on my own. Living in Phoenix for more than 45 years, she saw a significant increase in heat and air pollution, escalating her concerns about climate change. While at the Arizona Asthma Coalition, she helped others develop more understanding about how air pollution, climate change, and health impacts like asthma are linked. And she advocated for policies and programs to reduce air pollution, and especially to protect health, and especially the health of children and vulnerable populations. She herself developed asthma late in life. About a decade ago, I received an enthusiastic phone call from my mom. It wasn't long after she had retired the first time from First Things First, and she said, "Jen, I found this awesome group of older folks like me, and they're equally concerned about climate change. And we could use your help organizing ourselves to use technology. We're calling ourselves Elders Climate Action." Retirement didn't suit Hazel. She was a networker and an activist at heart, and she always needed a project, and she liked to bring me into all of her projects. I accepted the calling, and I'm so grateful that I did. I've had the opportunity to work alongside her, building an intergenerational effort, mobilizing older generations into climate action. ECA will forever have our fingerprints on it together. Her leadership and guidance shaped Elders Climate Action. She built partnerships and opportunities, served on the National Coordinating Council, founded the Arizona chapter with Beverly here tonight. And together, she and I hosted the Faces of Climate Action Town Hall series in 2019. We traveled across Arizona and brought together intergenerational, multicultural, and interfaith community voices together to strategize climate solutions for our state. And as a result of that, she started the Arizona Climate Action Coalition to continue that momentum and build increased collaboration after those town halls. Many of those members are here tonight, coalition members. She was never good at being unemployed, so she accepted a part-time position as an Arizona organizer for the Union of Concerned Scientists, and the following year she found her dream job as a field organizer at Moms Clean Air Force, an organization that became an extension of her family and a job that she absolutely loved. As part of her role at Moms, she shared her wisdom and experience guiding the work of the Climate Action Campaign's Arizona State Table, a group of climate allies that she absolutely adored working with. For much of her career, she was on a first-name basis with state and federal policymakers and their staff, and she testified at more agency hearings and engaged with media more times than she could remember. She was featured in the New York Times, People magazine, and the Arizona Republic, just to name a few. In recent years, she worked on numerous special projects, including serving on the Phoenix Trains Shade Committee and helping schools access electric school buses through federal programs. She was a fixture at Earth Day and at Environmental Day at the legislature and at nearly every other climate event across the state. She advocated for clean energy and emissions reductions wherever she had the opportunity. Working on climate change combined what she was most passionate about, protecting her children and her grandchildren's health and well-being, her understanding of policy and public health and evidence-based science, along with her love and compassion for all life on this planet. In April of this year, she was forced to retire from Mom's Clean Air Force due to her health. It was the hardest choice she's ever had to make. And in August, she provided her final testimony to the EPA on the endangerment finding. Although she was feeling absolutely terrible that day, she chose to speak anyways. And her closing words were, "While I'm at the end of my life and I won't be seeing how this turns out, legacy matters. I want my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren to be proud to know that I fought to protect their health and well-being and worked to leave a livable planet for their grandchildren's children." She told the EPA panelists, "Do not trade their future for the interests of corporate polluters. It is time to have courage to stand up for what is right, maintain the endangerment finding, and be proud of someone your great-grandchildren can be proud of too." She always stood strong in her voice, her vote, her dollars, and her actions. She put herself at the table every chance she got, and she wasn't afraid to ask for and sometimes demand change. And she taught many more of us to do the same. In August, Hazel received a commendation from Governor Hobbs. Phoenix Mayor Kate Gallego designated September 1st as Hazel Chandler Day, and Senators Ruben Gallego and Mark Kelly sent personal letters acknowledging her contributions in our state. Hundreds of friends and colleagues sent emails, cards, messages, and phone calls. In the final months of her life, my mom emphasized how meaningful her life's work had been. She felt it had purpose and impact. It was beautiful to celebrate it all with her. There's no doubt that she had impact. She is the definition of resilience, as fierce as the day is long, with a spirit that literally would not give up. When I told her that she'd be receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award, she responded, "How cool." And I said, "Well, Mom, a lot of people think that you're pretty cool." And she had a really big smile on her face. Hazel passed away peacefully last Saturday, November 8th at 11:08 a.m. with my brother, my sister-in-law, and my dog Birdie by her side. She chose to have her body donated to science where she could continue to be useful. A public celebration of her life will be held early in 2026. Thank you so much for letting us celebrate her tonight and for this special recognition of her life's work. And thank you to my family for making the trek down here.